Hello, good afternoon. I'm Stefanel Ann G. Sandania, and with me is Miss Elaine T. Guzman, and we will be discussing Chapter 3, which is about organization structure, information systems, and strategy. In this chapter, we will answer the following questions. First, what organizational characteristics must managers be aware of in order to design and implement information systems successfully? What effects do information systems have on businesses? Second, how can firms find opportunities for strategic information system applications using the value chain and value web models? Third, how can information systems assist organizations gain a competitive edge by leveraging network-based strategies, core strengths, and synergies? And last, what problems do strategic information systems attempt to solve and how should they be approached? To start with, let's discuss the two-way relationship between organization and information technology. Organizations and information technology influence one another, wherein information systems are built by managers to serve the best interests of their organizations. And at the same time, organizations must be aware of the informations to benefit with the new technology. This two-way relationship between organization and information technology is mediated by many factors such as environment, culture, structure, business processes, politics, and management decision. Let's define organization. There are two definitions of organization, the technical and behavioral definition. By technical definition, organization is defined as a stable, formal social structure that takes resources to the environment and processes them to make outputs. It is a formal legal entities with internal rules and procedures in this collection of social elements. On the other hand, by behavioral definition, an organization is a collection of rights, privileges, obligations, and responsibilities that is delicately balanced over a period of time through conflict and resolution. A technical view of definition encourages us to focus on how input are combined to create outputs when technology changes are introduced to the company. The firm is seen as malleable with capital and labor substituting for each other quite easily, but more realistic behavioral definitions suggest that building new information systems or building the old ones involve much more than a technical arrangement of machines or workers. That some information systems change the balance of rights, privileges, obligations, and responsibilities that has been established over a period of time. Technological change requires change in ownership and controls of the information, and who has the right to access and update of the information, and who makes the decision about whom, where, and how. So next slide is the behavioral view of the organization. From the environmental resources, it will be processed to the structure, hierarchy, division of labor, rules, procedures, business processes, culture, then process the rights, obligations, privileges or responsibilities, values, norms to become environmental outputs. The behavioral view of organization emphasizes group relationships, values, and structures. Next is features of organization. The main feature of organization is devoted to the principle of efficiency, which is maximizing output using limited inputs. And to manage this principle, we have different features of the organizations, which are the routines, that are also called standard operating procedures. And these are the accurate rules, procedures, and practices that have been created to adapt with virtually all anticipated circumstances. Second feature is the organizational politics. This is the viewpoint about how resources, rewards, and punishment should be distributed that resulted in political struggle for resources, competition, and conflict within every organization. Next is organizational structure. It is a powerful unifying force that restrains political conflict and promotes common understanding, agreement on procedures, and common practices. Fourth feature of organization is the organizational environment. Organizations live in environments from which they attract resources and to which they supply goods and services. Environments generally change much faster than organization due to disruptive technology. Last is organizational structure, such as entrepreneurial machine, bureaucracy, divisionalized bureaucracy, professional, and advocacy. Under the organizational structure, we have five organizational types. We have the entrepreneurial structure, or these are the young, small firm in a fast-changing environment. An example of this is the small startup business. Another is the machine bureaucracy. These are large bureaucracy existing in a slowly changing environment, producing standard products. Example of this is mid-size manufacturing firm. Third organizational type is the divisional bureaucracy. It is a combination of multiple machine bureaucracies, each producing a different product or service, all tapped by one central headquarters. Example of this is Fortune 500 firms or General Motors. Next organizational type is professional bureaucracy. These are knowledge-based organizations where goods and services depend on the expertise and knowledge of professionals. Examples of these are the law firms, school system, and hospitals. Last is adhocracy. These are task force organizations that must respond to rapidly changing environments, such as the consulting firms and Rand Corporation. Moreover, there are other organizational features. Examples are the coercive goals of prisons, utilitarian goals of businesses, normative goals of universities and religious groups. Other organizational features are the constituencies and leadership styles such as democratic and authoritative leadership styles. Next. Figure 3.5 explains the reciprocal relationship between environment and organization. Environments shape what organizations can do, but organizations can impact the environments and choose to change the latter altogether. Information technology plays a critical role in assisting organizations perceive environmental change at helping organizations act on their environment. As you can see, the environmental resources and constraints like, for example, the government, competitors, customers, financial institutions, and culture affects the firm more as well as the knowledge and technology by producing information systems. How information systems impact organization and business. IT changes both the overall expense of capital and information. It is substituted labor, which historically has been a rising cost. However, IT resulted in a declined number of middle managers and clerical workers. While the IT industry is growing, the labor and hiring production is reducing. However, on the good note, the employees' credentials are also improving. We have two theories related to economic impacts. These are the transaction and agency theory. Transaction cost theory states that transactions should be organized to minimize the cost of exchange and the cost of managing the organization towards efficiency maximization. With this theory, information technology reduces transaction costs in the organization. For example, instead of the procurement officers going to different stores to canvass, we now have supplier database which helps in identifying the right supplier for the company. On the other hand, agency theory is a concept used to explain the relation between principal and its agent, where the principal is someone who heavily relies on an agent to execute specific financial decisions and transactions that can result in fluctuating outcomes. Next, let's proceed to how the information technology impacts the organization and its behavior. IT flattens organizations, broadening the distribution of information to empower lower level employees and increase management efficiency. It helps push the decision channel and enhance customer respondents and improve the accountability of the worker. Second, post-industrial organization. It increasingly relies on knowledge and competence and not merely on formal positions. This focus on the characteristics of the manager. It achieves the objective of the company by inspiring and developing visions of the company. Next, Figure 3.9. Under Figure 3.9, organizational structure and the mutually adjusting relationship between technology and organizations is affected by tasks, technology, structure, and people. Implementing information systems has consequences for the task arrangements, structures, and people. According to this model, to implement change, all four components must be changed simultaneously. Next, what is Internet? Internet is a system architecture that has revolutionized communications and methods of commerce, allowing the various computer networks around the world to interconnect. The Internet differs with World Wide Web because WW is a way of accessing information over medium of the Internet. Well, what are the benefits of the Internet to the organization? First is it increases the accessibility, storage, and distribution of information and knowledge for the organization. And second is it enables dramatically lowering the transaction and agency costs facing most organizations. Implications for the design and understanding of information system. The central organizational factors to consider when planning new systems are the following. First, the environment in which the organization must function. Second, the structure of the organization, hierarchy, specialization, routines, and business processes. Third, the organization's culture and politics. Fourth, the type of organization and its style of leadership. Fifth, the principal interest groups affected by the system and the attitudes of workers who will be using the system. And last are the kinds of tasks, decisions, and business processes that the information is designed to assist. Next is what is competitive advantage? Competitive advantage is the attribute that allows an organization to outperform its competitors. According to this, those who enter the market first has competitive edge over the other. And that's all for my report. The rest of the discussion will be reported by my partner, Miss Elaine Guzman. Thank you.